So I know this video is a lot longer than my other videos, but keep in mind this process is 8 hours long and I tried to speed up as many parts as I could. I tried to cut out as many parts as I could, but it's still going to be a longer video just because the amount of steps to properly prep the paint and then as well as to apply the ceramic coating. So give this video a chance, but if you're looking to do your own ceramic coating, this video will teach you everything you need to know. So the first step in the process is to use some sort of soap that's going to remove any existing sealant or anything that could be on the paint. The whole point of the washing before applying the ceramic coating is to remove as much contaminants from the paint as you can, because anything you trap under the ceramic coating is going to stay there for years until the ceramic coating is removed. So if that's iron particles on a white car, after a few years the iron can start to turn brown, and then you have this brown under the ceramic coating, and the only way to fix it is to actually remove the ceramic coating and start again. So we're going in for a touched wash here, so we are using some sort of towel and actually agitating the surface of the car. I find that using microfiber towels is a little better than using a wash mitt, especially for this step. If you're using an old wash mitt, you don't know what's on the wash mitt even after you've washed it, because that's the whole point of a microfiber, is it'll pick up and trap the dirt. So here we're using brand new towels for every step. I find that they pick up the dirt a little better. There's less in between your hand and the paint, so you can feel it a little better as well. So after scrubbing the car, you want to rinse off the car with the pressure washer. Now you want to use the pressure washer to your advantage. You want to actually use the pressure. So you can see we're getting really close. That way all the sealant and everything that's on the paint is actually going to be blown off by the pressure from the pressure washer. So use your tools to your advantage. You're not going to be doing this with a garden hose, which you could if you really wanted to. But a pressure washer is a great addition if you're going to be washing your car all the time, especially for this process. So we're going to be washing the car multiple times, and I always find that it's better to wash the car too many times to remove contaminants than not enough times to remove contaminants. So over the course of this video, you're going to see me wash the car quite a few times. So after you've washed the car, now we did it twice, but to keep the video a little shorter, I'm not going to show the same process twice. The next step is to clay bar. And so you can see we're working in small areas, and we are also working outside. So because of that, we're doing small areas at a time. We're using iron remover as the lubricant for the clay bar. It works really well, and you can actually see that when it pulls up some contaminants from the paint, it does start to turn purple, which is what iron remover does. But so it doesn't dry in the sun, we do an area about this big, as you can see, and then rinse it off and move on to the next area. You don't want to let the iron remover dry onto the paint. So as you can see, we did a small area. We're rinsing it off, and then we're going on to the next area. So you gotta make sure that you don't let this dry on the paint. Iron remover drying on the paint can be really bad, and it's just something you don't want to have to deal with. So work smart, keep the paint wet, make sure you're using enough iron remover that it glides over the paint and doesn't get stuck on the paint, and you'll have a pretty good experience. So now that we've clay barred the entire car, you can already see it looks pretty shiny in this, and there is nothing on the paint. This is just the car's paint and clear coat. So we're going to go in for another wash. Now you can see it's yellow in the foam cannon. I'm using Chemical Guys Clean Slate. I find that product actually works really well to remove things from the paint, remove any old products that may be on the car. But this is a big step, so we want to make sure that all the iron remover is removed from the car. We want to make sure that we're getting off as many more contaminants as we can. Keep in mind the clay bar should have gotten almost everything off that you missed from the first few washes. Now some people may call this overkill, but I am going in with another wash, and you'll see that the soap is not yellow this time. I'm actually using Geon's Restart Wash, which is meant for ceramic coatings, but I find it does a really good job of kind of cleansing the paint before applying a ceramic coating as well. So I did Clean Slate after the clay bar, and now I'm doing Geon's Restart Wash as well. So this is going to be the last rinse of the car before we bring it into the garage. So you really want to make sure you get off everything. You want to make sure you get in all the areas around the window, and you don't want soap or anything kind of popping out after you've pulled the car in the garage. So you really want to do a thorough rinse down. Now I went over the whole car just like this, and then actually went over the whole car again just to make sure I got everything. But you really don't want to miss any soap at this point. At this point, the car should be perfectly clean. There is a few more steps to finish off the ceramic coating, but for the most part, cleaning is done, and then we're going to use a alcohol-based cleaning product in the garage just to make sure everything's off. So we've dried off the entire car, and now you can see we're using Gtechniq Panel Wipe here, which is an alcohol-based cleanser that you use just before you're putting on a ceramic coating. Now the alcohol evaporates easily, but it will also help remove anything that you may have missed, any residue that's left over, really anything that could be on the paint. You want the bare paint to be what the ceramic coating is sticking to. So Chemical Guys has a version of this called Wipeout. Gtechniq has a product. Geon has their prep spray. You can really use any one you want. I had the Gtechniq one, which is why I'm using that. I find the Chemical Guys ones may contain some fillers and things like that, so I don't really love using their products, but if you have it, it's definitely a product you can use. But you want to go over the entire car with this. The plastic, the windows, the paint, everything. So for this car, we're using Geon Moz, and I really like this product. I like that you can do 2 layers of it to make sure you get a good coverage, but you can also top it with something like Can Coat, which we're going to do in this video, and it's just a really good product. It goes on so easy. Now you'll think that I'm using quite a bit by how much I put on the applicator, but using that much, we were able to cover this car twice with 2 full thick layers. We also did all 4 rims of the car, and we still had product left over. So you do get quite a bit. Now with this product, you can see that there are tiny little dots, and those are almost instant, and that's what you want. You want those tiny little dots, and that's when you know you can wipe it up. That means that the part that's going to adhere to the paint is adhered to the paint, and the rest can be removed. So we're using 2 towels here. We're going to use 1 towel just to kind of spread out the product a little bit and remove the bulk of the product. And then we're going to go in with a second towel and kind of buff to a shine. But you don't want to buff so hard that it removes the product that should be sticking to the paint. You just kind of want to flatten it out and make sure that you have even coverage over the area you just applied the ceramic coating to. Now most other products say you should be working in a crosshatch pattern, but this product you really don't want to overwork. So I just go in one direction. I may overlap the tiniest bit, but you don't want to overwork this product at all. If you do overwork the product, it becomes sticky and it's actually harder to remove. So you'll see here, we're working in pretty big areas. This product is pretty forgiving, even though they say to work in a tinier area. You can get away working in a bigger area, and it makes the process a lot quicker. So you'll see here, he's kind of looking at the paint and waiting for those dots to appear. When you first apply the ceramic coating, it's going to be lines. And those lines are what's going to turn into the dots once it starts to kind of stick and evaporate, I guess, a little bit and ready to pull off the paint. So you want to make sure that you're giving it enough time. But with Geon Moz, I find that it's ready to be taken off in about 15 seconds. It's really not that bad. When you're using something like Crystal Serum Light, that stuff can sit on for 5 or 10 minutes and still be taken off easily. That is the easiest one to apply. but I don't think it works as well as the Geon we're using here. So we've done the first coat of Geon Mows, and this is the time when I go and I'm doing, in this case, a trim restore, which is really satisfying. You can see it immediately turns black again, which is really cool. And you want to let the ceramic cure for about an hour in between coats. So this is a perfect time to go and do something else, like in this case the trim restore. But we're going to put trim restore on the front bumper, the back bumper, all the trim pieces, everything that's kind of plastic on this car. Then we're going to go back for a second coat of the Geon Mows. Once that's done, we want to let it cure for about 2 hours or so. We did just under 2 hours and it seemed to work okay. But that's when we're going in with our final top layer, which is Geon's can coat. The product is so easy to apply. It is absolutely a fantastic product. It doesn't last as long as regular ceramic coatings, like long-term ceramic coatings, but you can apply it every 6 months. It's quick, it's easy, it helps boost the shine. I find it's kind of a sacrificial layer on top of your true ceramic, and so that way it just helps your true ceramic coating last that much longer. So in our case, the final step is, as I said before, the Geon can coat. So you take 2 sprays, and I put it in the top of the towel, just 2 little sprays. You use that area to wipe the product onto the panel, and then as you saw, you just flip the towel over and buff to a shine. It's really that simple, and it's a great product. It definitely boosts shine, it definitely helps with the hydrophobicity of the paint, and it does absolute wonders. Can coat is also a relatively cheap product. You get a giant 200 milliliter bottle of it, which is enough to do probably 10 cars or so, and it's only $60. So if you don't want to do a full ceramic on a bunch of your cars, if you have more than one car, you could always buy 1 can of the can coat and put that as a layer on each car. It is so simple, but it will definitely make a difference on your vehicle. So it's finally time to pull the car out. Now keep in mind, this is a 3-year-old vehicle. I had previously polished this vehicle, so we didn't do it for this ceramic coating. It was recently polished by me, and so it really didn't need it. But this car was fully restored. It looks brand new. Now, we didn't do some of the trim pieces with the plastic restore. We just didn't have enough product, so we still need to get more of that. But for the most part, this car came out absolutely perfectly. And it was pretty simple. 2 people, it took quite a bit of time, but if you take it to a shop, they're going to charge you over $1,000 for this, or right around $1,000 for this. And you can do it yourself with a little bit of elbow grease for a lot cheaper.